Okay, so today or yesterday where we ran into the problems is we started working with, or the previous couple days, we were working with expressions. Now we're going to start solving them. They're going to start to become equations where they're going to start to equal something. So we're going to start plugging things in for the variables, and then you'll be able to solve them. And I think this is going to go a little bit easier than the last couple of lessons. So make sure we'll watch this video real quick. Okay, so we just got done watching the first Math on the Spot video, and so now we're going to work through a couple of these. So, like it says, the very first one, as you look in your book, says x minus 9. And then it tells us that x equals 15. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in, wherever we have x, we're going to plug in 15. So if I have x minus 9, where I have x, I'm going to put 15 instead, and it's going to be 15 minus 9. Well, what's 15 minus 9? 6, exactly. Does that seem so difficult? No. So let's try the next one. 16 over n when n equals 8. 16 over n. And we know that n equals 8, so that's going to become 16 over 8. What's 16 divided by 8? 2, exactly. So, we'll try it a little bit. What if n was equal to 4? I would have 16 over 8. If n was equal to 4, then it'd be 16 over 4. And what's 16 divided by 4? 4, exactly. Yeah, it's not so bad. So then we move on to the next one. We get into decimals, but it's not that big of a deal. 0.5y, so we know when 5's right up next to the y that it's going to be multiplication. So we're going to have 0.5 times y. Y is equal to 1.4, so it's going to be 0.5 times 1.4. 1.4 times 0.5. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7. Count the decimal places. 1, 2, 1, 2. So our answer is 0.7. 0.7 or 0.70? Yes. Here I was multiplying 5 times 4 is 20, so I put the 0 there and the 2 up there. And then 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So I have 0. And then, so I had 70, and then I have 2 numbers behind the decimal, so I move it 2 places, and that's how I get 0.70. Okay, no problem. And D, we have 6k. So that would mean 6 times k. We're going to replace 6. We're going to replace the k with 1/3. 6 times 1/3. So we know that's going to be 6 1/3. We're going to put the 6 over 1. Multiply straight across. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. What's 6 divided by 3? 2, exactly. Does it seem easier now that you have numbers for variables? I think it will, because you'll be able to come up with an answer where the previous 2 days we didn't have an answer. So, let's see how well you've caught on. Go ahead and do your turn next. So, like in the case of that first one, it's 4x, and then you have a semicolon, x equals 8. Those are 2 separate things. So it's just telling you that wherever you see the x, you're going to plug in an 8. Okay, let's go through and do number 1. 4x and x equals 8. So we know that 4x is 4 times x. We're going to plug in 4 times 8. What's 4 times 8? 32. So go ahead and do 6.5 minus n, and we know that n equals 1.8. So with the next one, we have 6.5 minus n. We know that n is 1.8. 5 can't take away 8, so we're going to borrow. 6 becomes a 5. 5 becomes a 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. 5 minus 1 is 4. Decimal 4.7. And then on the last one, we have m over 6, and m is going to equal 18. Okay, so we have m over 6. We know that m equals 18, so we're going to replug that in. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Okay, so the next part, all we're going to add in this next part is order of operations. So we've already been doing addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, so now we're going to add in some parentheses and some exponents. But it's going to be treated exactly the same way. You're just going to plug in whatever number in place of the letter. We're also going to go where we're going to have more than one variable. We might have W occur more than once, or we might have an A, a B, and a C all in the same equation or expression. So let's go ahead and we're going to do the next math on the spot video. So make sure you do that. Watch it before you go on. Okay, so expressions may have more than one operation or more than one variable. To evaluate these expressions, substitute the given value for each variable and then use the order of operations. So in this first example, evaluate each expression for the given value of the variable. So we have 4 times x minus 4, and we know that x is going to equal 7. So we substitute the 7 in for the x. We have 4 times, with parentheses, 7 minus 4. Because of the order of operations, we're going to subtract the 7 minus the 4 first because it's in parentheses. 7 minus 4 is 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. So we know that when x equals 7, then 4 times x minus 4 is going to equal 12. So letter B, 4x minus 4, and we're going to use 7 for x. 4 times 7 minus 4. We're going to multiply first. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 minus 4 is 24. So, example C, we're going to throw in some extra variables. W minus x plus y. Same as you've done all along, you're just going to plug in the number that goes with the variable. We have a W, so we're going to plug in a 6. We have an x, so we're going to plug in the 5. And for the y, we're going to plug in a 3. 6 minus 5 plus 3. 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. And the last example, we're going to have an exponent, x squared minus x. And in this case, x equals 9. So we're going to have 9 squared minus 9. 9 squared is 81. 81 minus 9 is 72. Any questions? It's all about plugging in the right number into the right variable, or for the right variable, and then doing whatever operation it says. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 examples for you guys to work on. Go ahead and work on those real quick. Okay, let's work through these and see how you did, or those of you that got the incorrect answer, we can go through and figure out how to get the correct answer. So in the first one, 3 times n minus 1. N is 5, so 5 minus 1 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. In this case, we have 4 times n minus 4 plus 14. If we plug a 5 in for the n, 5 minus 4 is 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 14 is 18. Did I? Oh, and yeah, so, oh. Yeah, it is. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I knew that 12 didn't seem like the right answer, but I'm like, okay. Exactly, it's 18. Okay, so for number 6, 6n plus n squared. We know it's 5, so what's 6 times 5 is 30. But first you would have done the n squared because the order of operations, so 5 times 5 is 25. So 30 plus 25 is 55. Okay, so evaluate each expression for a equals 3, b equals 4, and c equals 6. A times b minus c. A times b is 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. For number 8, we have b times c plus 5 times a. B times c is 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times a is 15. 24 plus 15 is 39. What one? So the question on 7 was a times b. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. So, number 9. A cubed minus b plus c. We're going to do what's in parentheses first. B plus c. 4 times 6 is 10. 4 plus 6 is 10. A cubed. 3 times 3 is 27. I'm sorry, 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 more is 27. 27 minus 10 is 17. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to move on to the couple real world situations. So, and if when you're doing your homework this is a little bit tricky for you, there is still another video you could watch on that, but I think we're ready just to move ahead. So if you need to watch the video, if you go to my website, you'll see that on there. So, evaluating real world expressions. You can evaluate expressions to solve real world problems. So, the expression 1.8C plus 32 gives the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit for a given temperature in degrees Celsius. Find the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit that is equivalent to 30 degrees Celsius. So, we need to find the value of C. So, if Celsius equals 30 degrees, we're going to find out how much that is in Fahrenheit. So we follow the formula. 1.8 times C plus 32. So we're going to have 1.8 times C, which is 30, plus 32. Order of operations says we're going to multiply 1.8 times 30. 30, 1.8, 8 times 0, 0. 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 3 is 3. 0, 4. So I have 540, but I have one decimal place, so I'm going to move it over. So I have 54. So 1.8 times 30 is 54 plus 32 equals a Fahrenheit temperature of 86. 86. So that's how it would work in a real world situation. Now there's two situations for you to try and figure out. The first one, an expression 6x squared gives the surface area of a cube, and the expression x cubed gives the volume of a cube, where x is the length of one side of the cube. Find the surface area and the volume for a cube with a side length of 2 meters. So use 2 in place of x up there and see what answer you get. Okay, so the formula is 6x squared. So if I've got 6x squared, and I know x is 2, now I have 6 times 2 squared. What's 2 squared? 2 times 2 is 4. What's 4 times 6? 24. So it comes out to 24 meters squared. What? So volume is x cubed. So if volume's x cubed, we plug in 2 for x. So we have 2 cubed. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, or magic. So, stop please. So, number 11. The expression 60m gives the number of seconds in minutes. How many seconds are there in 7 minutes? So, so the expression 60m gives the number of seconds in m minutes. So we know if it's 60. So we know if it's 60 m, we replace m with 7. So it's 60 times 7. 420 seconds. Is that so bad? All you have to do, as I've said, just like the ratios, put them in the right spot, get it started, and it'll all fall into place. Here, you find whatever the formula is, and it always gives it to you, and then it always tells you the number that the variable will be if it wants you to solve for the variable. I'm listening. Oh. Okay, so that's all we'll worry about today, so you can close your books for now.